Well, it's that special time of the week, ladies and gentlemen, with the backdrop, if you're watching on YouTube, of I love Mommy. Mommy's the best. Mommy's great. We wouldn't be here without Mommy. Of all the signs that are in the background here of where Brad Adam does his weekly show with us are all pictures of the kids' drawings of how great Mom is, and not a single damn thing about Dad. Brad Adam, episode 180, proudly brought to you by the great John Howie. John Howie Steak. Entertain your next clients, family, and friends at John Howie Steak. Experience the best dining experience that you possibly can. Visit johnhowiesteak.com. It's where Brad goes usually on his off day, and he hangs out by himself at John Howie Steak just to avoid his family. And avoid the no signs of we love Dad. Dad is great. It's when he goes into John Howie Steak and there's some patrons there and they wonder, why is that man eating alone? And Brad looks up from his steak and goes, because it's peaceful. That's why.
That's right. We were thinking that this year would be different. You know, this Father's Day, maybe I get one sign, but no. We have a chalkboard in the kitchen that still says Happy Mother's Day. So I've just stopped trying, Puck. So I've got to know the bartenders well. Still haven't met John Howie yet.
You won't. Never going to meet him.
I know. But, enjoy my peaceful time away.
Hey, let's before we get into, hey, wait for it, Bryan Woo's hurt again.
What?
And then we'll talk about, we're going to talk about some trade opportunities. I want to ask you about an old friend that maybe we can convince Jerry to bring back. But you, on Monday...
Yes.
And we didn't get to talk to the great Bill Krueger yesterday.
He was busy.
From Root Sports, because he had his Native Youth Rise Above Foundation golf tournament over there at Snoqualmie Ridge. You got to play in it. How was it?
Well, Puck, it was fantastic. It started with some controversy when I was in 4B, the group 4B, and before we even left, I was traded, I like to call, or kicked to the curb to 15B because Dale Ellis, shocker, did not show up. So they needed a quote-unquote celebrity.
You were the celebrity. The Dale Ellis, the silent assassin, didn't make it?
Shocker. Nate McMillan did, though, so it was really good to see Nate. And Lenny Wilkins was there, too, so that was fun to catch up and talk to those guys a little bit. But I'm in 15B, but luckily I got to play with Eric Hansen, the old Mariners pitcher, who's one of the best.
Shouldn't he be the celebrity?
Amateur. You would think so. I'm like, wait a minute, aren't you the guy? What am I doing here?
I don't quite understand that. I mean,
maybe
Eric Hansen was a Major League Baseball pitcher, was great.
One. Yeah.
Shouldn't he be the celebrity?
Yes.
My question is, what happens to your 4B group? Who's their celebrity?
4B apparently didn't want or didn't need a celebrity. They had a young kid who bombed it, and they wanted him to play, not the old man here. So they had their own 4 that they wanted.
They wanted their own 4. They saw you warm up on the range, go, no, he can go. So was the celebrity in each group supposed to be the best player?
Not necessarily. Oh, gosh, no.
Okay.
Bill played, no. So I got Eric Hansen, and that was really fun because, as you know, he's one of the best amateurs in the state.
For people who don't know, yes, the former Mariners pitcher, Eric Hansen, he goes in all these amateur events around the state and, wins them all.
He just won the Senior Washington Open. Yes.
Yeah, he wins it every year.
Yeah, he's like a +2 or +3 at Sahalee. So he is legit. And so it was really cool to play with him and learn and talk golf.
How to play the game.
How to play the game, yeah. Because what was great? Because here's a guy that we can relate to because – he's old like me. He's got a bad back. He's got a bad ankle. He doesn't hit the ball far at all. He's like 250, 260. So and I
straight.
Oh my gosh, he did not miss a fairway, and every green, 100 in, ridiculous,
automatic.
So, and what he does, Puck, is
hate those guys.
But it's old man golf. Like we need to aspire to be.
I know.
So when he has 120, we had a 120-yard shot. We had a lot of 100. In scrambles because you're up tees.
Yeah.
So 120 is my wedge. So I hit a full wedge, and I would hit, I hit a nice one pin high.
Like a pitching wedge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he would come in and obviously get inside mine just about every time. I called him Tommy Topper. I really had fun playing with him. We never used my ball. Never used my ball. I'm like,
I love that line.
Tommy
Topper.
So
all right.
But he would hit 9 irons, and he would hit them kind of low in 3/4 9. One par 3, I hit a 6. And again, I don't hit the ball far, so I hit a 6. He hit a 5. And I said, what the heck are you doing that for? And he says he never wants to swing hard. He always wants to be in control, be able to move the ball, which I don't do. I get that. He plays
the ball
plays.
right to left. I want to
flight
it down.
Exactly.
But that's man. I just want to hit the ball.
Exactly. That was interesting to hear, a guy that good say, I can hit an 8 iron 120. I can hit a 9 iron. I could hit a wedge. So you never want to – he doesn't ever want to go max out, which I kind of get, And then he was talking about, I think the average hole is like 14 minutes. Say 13, 14 minutes to play a hole. Pros and amateurs, it's the same time. But amateurs spend like 5 minutes on the green, 9 minutes on the course, getting there, taking their time, whatever. Just 5 minutes on the green. Pros are exact opposite. 5 minutes getting there, and then 9 minutes on the green. Everything is putting. And I said, yeah, but you don't want to be that guy. If you and I are playing, right? If you and I are playing, I'm not going to do that, right? No. But he said putting is everything, and I get that at that level. And then Puck, it was funny. He get into like deep stuff that you and I would never think of. He's like, look at the fairway and the mower patterns. Like if it's shiny, it's downhill, and uphill. Yeah, so he says
I never pay attention, but they always talk about it on the TV. They did it this last week, and I'm watching the golf. Like, you can see the shine on it, and that's going to be fast. And I'm like, right. I just get up there and hit the ball, so I don't even pay attention to that.
He's like, so I try to aim for like the shiny patterns, and I'm like, come on, dude, come on, off the tee. Dude, come on. I'm just trying, like you said, hit the fairway. He's trying to hit a mower pattern.
I'm trying to hit the fairway, Eric.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get up there as fast as I can because here comes the cart girl. And I got a group behind us, and I'm trying to get up there fast, hit a ball, and so I can quickly get the drink orders.
And
go. Get in and out with her and prevent my other buddy from flirting with her because he doesn't have a chance at her. That's what I'm concerned about.
I love it. And but what's interesting, what I will use is on a tee, a par 3, where you hit the ground obviously hopefully more than a regular driver. Tees it up, but he always tees it up in the shiny part because if he says in the darker part where it's growing against the green, you have a chance or tendency to hit it fat. And
First of all, your next round is going to be 25 minutes per hole because your stupid ass is going to be looking.
And I'm looking at the grass.
Where all the shiny grass is. And you're going to be, hey, get going.
I'm going to
start hitting balls into you.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot like a 92 because I'm going to try to flight an 8 iron.
You're going to flight an 8 iron.
What does that even mean?
You're taking 35 minutes on a hole because you're looking for the shiny. What are you doing over there? I'm looking for the shiny.
For the shiny part. I got to hit the shiny part. Yeah, and putt and it was fun to see it at a different level. And then also talking with him because he plays, spends half the year in Scottsdale, plays at Pinnacle Peak. And plays with a lot of pros, right?
What a life.
I know he's got a good life.
This is what we want to do. This is what I want to do when I get older. I just want to play golf every day.
Yeah. And he plays with these guys, and he says that people ask him why he doesn't try Champions Tour or go pro, and he said that they are so much better than he is. He couldn't even come close to competing. And I'm thinking, dude, you're a +3 at Holly,
but you know that.
But I know the pro. It's unbelievable.
People don't get it because you probably have a buddy. You probably have a buddy or something who always is like, oh, I could play with them. I could shoot that. If I could do that.
No, you can't.
Hey, there's the vampire in the background. You can get out of the camera.
What's he doing?
He's
is he going to hammer you?
He's working in a new glove. He's working in a new glove, so we've wrapped it up with the oil, and he's got the hammer. He's got the hammer. Now you can leave now.
I like that. Did he sleep with it under the mattress there?
I don't think he slept with it yet. Have you slept with the glove?
The ball in there and tie a belt
don't
around
unwrap it now. No, it's only been wrapped for like a couple hours. Can you shut the door, please? This is
Daddy's working.
The studio. This is why I need a studio light. I'm going to put a studio light outside. Yeah.
On air.
We've got to get a new glove because and I'm like, a new glove now. I'm not going to get a new glove at the end of the season. We'll wait till the season is over.
Sure.
And then we'll get one ready for
last year's model. That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's just that his is like break it. The strap on the stupid thing won't stay. He's like, so anything that happens in the field, if he makes like a bad play, like, the strap's not on, right?
Yeah. I like that.
So now we got a buddy give him a new glove. So
okay,
we're breaking it in.
So I'll finish quickly the story. We finish in third. We get a gift card. Wait for it. Whiskey by John Howie. And I'm like, yes, another chance to see John.
You are just
I love it.
Mopping up these gift cards.
Oh, it's killing it.
From the great if you've never been there.
I've not been to Whiskey. No.
It's tremendous.
I don't even know where it is.
It's right next to John Howie Steak. It's in that same building. Like as you're going to John Howie Steak. Yeah. It's right to the left, kind of tucked away a little bit. Nice. But it is cool, old school. Like when you think like $1 million deals happen at this Whiskey by John Howie. Like guys sitting over in the corner, if they could have cigars, would have cigars out talking about, we're going to take down the mayor. Right. This is what we're going to do. All right. Once we take the mayor down, we're going to put our guy in and all is solved in the city of Bellevue. Like big deals happen at this place. And they have got a happy hour burger.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of the best burgers you'll ever have. Yeah. Okay. I would strongly recommend Whiskey by John Howie. For your next bourbon of choice, make it Whiskey by John Howie.
So we finished third, and the group that kicked me to the curb, replaced me with a young stud, finished first. Oh, and I'm like, you guys knew what you were doing.
Hey, the vampire is back. Now he's brought the hammer with him. He's going to start hammering away. He forgot the hammer. Right. On the glove. Good luck with that.
So that was my day yesterday. Then I saw the Mariners score and went, 1-run loss. Rays, best record with 1-run games, so I guess that wasn't too much of a surprise. Okay, then I saw how they did it. Didn't love that. And then Woo exiting, didn't love that.
Okay, yeah, well, let's start there. I mean, I don't want to say, I talked about earlier this morning on the Daily Puck Drop that he's starting to get in the CJ Procise zone. Do you remember who CJ Procise was? The running back for the Seahawks, highly talented running back they had a couple of years ago. Well, more than a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But he was really good, but hurt all the time.
Yeah.
And he had like 2 games in his career that was great. And you always and I was the president of the CJ Procise fan club. I loved him, and I'll defend him to this day. But Bryan Woo starting to get in that category.
That was a weird one.
Yeah. And I know it's not all connected. I mean, we're talking about the elbow and a forearm issue that he's had. This hamstring is something new, but it just feels like every start, it's just something with him.
Yeah. And I'm not sure why either, because he's a really good athlete. He played positions in college, and he's in great shape, and he's a stud, and
he's
young.
The best. He's the most in shape guy probably on that team. I mean, I said it earlier, Brad, you would agree with this. He walks off the bus, and you're like, damn, that's a baseball player.
There's a dude. Exactly. So that was surprising. You don't see a lot of hamstrings with pitchers, but
no,
I don't know if it was because you're indoors, so you really can't blame any heat or humidity. That was a weird one. I don't know, and you hope he's having an MRI today, and you hope it's not, too severe of a strain. It didn't, I don't know, look like it wasn't like you were running and popped it. You know what I mean?
He just was pushing off. Yeah. He pushed off, and then he tried to throw, and he clearly couldn't throw. And then even watching him walk off, he walked off gingerly.
Yeah, so you're thinking, I don't know, a couple weeks maybe, just hoping. And then
hamstrings are never good, man.
Yeah. Well, running backs need them more than pitchers. But you're right, that's the push-off leg. I mean, he's going to obviously needs that, yeah. So they'll skip. There's an off day Thursday, so they'll skip his turn, so won't need a starter. And then Emerson Hancock left with lower back tightness his last start in Tacoma, and I think he's going to be okay to make his next start. But he'd be the logical call up when they do need a starter, or maybe they call up. But guys like
Hancock.
Hancock is talking about.
Well, then he left it, but he's got his own issues.
That's what I'm saying, the lower back strain. Yeah, Hancock. Yeah. Right.
So,
Jonathan Diaz maybe, or Dallas Keuchel, bring him up.
What about this idea? Oh, I forgot they have Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah.
What about getting an old name back? Chris Flexen. Make a minor
Not
move,
a bad one.
Yeah.
I like him.
Why not?
He got a house here, likes it here, pitched well here.
Yeah.
He's on the White Sox. He wants to get out of there.
He hasn't been good this year. He's got a 5 ERA.
But it's the White Sox.
It's the White Sox, and he's had success here.
Yes.
And his best success was here. And not only could you use him as a starter, if something is wrong here with Woo, which clearly there is,
right?
And if Hancock, and you don't know with him, but he's got experience coming out of the bullpen.
Yes, did that here too. Long man, yeah.
So
not a bad idea.
I come up with some really great ideas
every once in a while.
Every once in a while, I'll step into one. And again, this is not going to be a move that gets all the fan base excited.
Right.
It's a minor move that I think he never could have enough little arms. He plays on a team that's terrible. Maybe when he comes over, if they acquire him, he can bring Robert Jr. with him.
Oh, I like that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Robert, let me carry your bag. My name's Chris. Yeah. Oh, I'm a teammate of yours. My name's Chris. We're on.
You haven't met me?
What was that? Yeah, we're on the same team. We play together.
Yeah.
You think Luis Robert Jr. knows Chris Flexen? You think there's a chance he doesn't know who he is?
There might be.
You think there's a chance
when he sees him on the bus,
if you think there's a chance that if they were traded and they came over, and Luis Robert Jr. saw Chris Flexen and then go, so where'd they get you from?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Luis. Yeah.
I think there's a chance.
Oh, it's funny how the season and the needs kind of change, right, week to week. Because we were talking, it's going to be all bullpen and maybe Chris Flexen now, right, at the deadline. Just win every game 2-1. And then they lose 5 of 6. They score 12 runs in the 6 games. The lead in the West is down to what, 5.5?
5.5 now.
5.5 because Houston's won 5 straight. Now I'm thinking, all right, they do need a bat. They've always needed
Brad.
it. They have, but the way that it was going and the way that they are and the way that they're built, and they just win at home because no one can score at T-Mobile. I thought they'd be okay, but now I agree with you and everybody that
with the entire Mariners public,
that I think that they do need a big bat. And I don't know where it's going to come from or what position you want to do, but it's hard to just keep rolling this out and seeing, 8 runs in Cleveland. Hey, we're good. And then nothing. 9 runs in Miami. Then you lose a series to Miami. Then 3 runs.
And it's not a road thing, right? Because everyone says, well, they're better at home and worse on the road. It's just, it's an every game thing. It's just up and down with every game.
Yes. Yeah. And the pitching's been pretty consistent this year, but you look at the numbers and they are way better at home.
2-1.
It's
like
gosh.
a 2.5, 2.4 ERA at home, and it's
to a 4 something. It's a 2-run difference.
It's
home and road, and that's the starters and how good they are. So they always talk about you have to score on the road. You do, especially now that the summer's coming in most places, right? And
it's nice today. What are you complaining about? It's like in the mid-70s. Come on.
And other teams, summer is the ballparks heat up, other places, ball goes. They're going to need to score on the road to win, And then you think October, you're hoping that you get home field advantage because that's super important to the Mariners. Not other teams, yes, but especially for the Mariners and how they're built and how they play. So you want to win the division. If you can get the top 2 to get a bye, that would be obviously fantastic. But having home field is crucial to them because, even like New York or Baltimore, early October, is probably still okay. Tampa's indoor, Toronto's obviously indoor. I'm just thinking potential playoffs. Houston, you've got to play Houston, you're indoors. So it doesn't affect you that much early in October, weather-wise. So you're still going to have to score. We can't rely on it being 30 degrees in October and shutting everybody out.
And the crazy thing with the deadline too is, Brad, is you have so many teams, especially in the National League, that are still in it. I think every team in the National League is still in it -2. Right. That's it.
So who's selling? Yeah.
Well, that's the question because they're all in it, every one of them, and so they're like, well, we're not going to sell. We still think we have a shot. If you look at the American League, I think you can still. I think Toronto is teetering on it right now. They're teetering, but I think even if you were Toronto, I think you could still convince themselves. And I'm just looking it up. No, th're 7.5 back now. Toronto's getting close to probably waving the white flag, but but if you look in the National League, my God, there are the only 2 teams out of it are the Marlins, who just beat you, and the Rockies. Every other team in the National League is either leading it or within 3 games.
Even the Nationals.
Even the Washington Nationals are a game and a half out. The Diamondbacks, people are talking about the Diamondbacks. Right. Oh, Christian Walker. They're a game and a half back of a wild card spot. Why would they trade anyone? Why would the New York Mets, first of all, in that market, why would they trade Pete Alonso?
Agree. I don't know.
Because then, I mean, if you have an ownership group that's talking all, well, we're about winning, we're about, getting into the playoffs, you're going to trade away your best offensive player?
Yeah, no. Just because you can't sign them? No. You're going to try to win this year. Because you're right, they are that close.
What about the Reds? Yeah. What about the Pirates? I mean, the Pirates, they got a good young team, and they're 2.5 games back. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a crazy deadline. So because I stumbled across an article this morning from MLB.com talking about the number of teams that they ranked them in order, the 10 teams that would get Luis Robert Jr. The Phillies were ranked number 1. I mean, as great as the Phillies have been.
What do they need him for?
Because their outfield is not good. Yeah. It's like not a good outfield.
Okay.
But the Mariners were number 2. Number 2 on that list. But it also included like the Rangers, the Orioles, the Dodgers, the Pirates. I mean, there's a lot of teams.
Were the Astros on that?
No, but our good friend Jim Duquette yesterday, proudly brought to you by Flat Stick Pub. He said that he's hearing the Astros will make a big push, like most teams, and including the Mariners, but the Astros would make a big push for Vlad Jr.
Well, they have a hole at first, sure, but I'm thinking even Robert because, ever since Springer left, was it 5 years ago? They have never really replaced him in center. They've pieced it together. They've got guys that are just very average. He would be a great fit there in center, but Vladdy would be a great fit at first base, because they released Abreu with $30 million left on his deal, so that didn't work out. They've got nothing there at first. Yeah, that would be bad. That would that would not be good.
He mentioned Lane Thomas, who's a right fielder for the Nationals.
like him a lot. I like him a lot.
He's arbitration. He's got 1 more year of arbitration, then a free agent. That could be if you can't get Luis Robert Jr., certainly an upgrade what you have in right field right now, because what you have in right field right now is just a real problem. We love Mitch Haniger to death.
Love him.
But it's safe to say it's over. It's not working. His numbers since the first 17 games have been honestly abysmal. The defense is not good. You saw the play last night. They've got a right fielder in there who fields a ball in shallow right field and cannot throw a runner out at home without it bouncing
a couple of times,
4 times.
Yeah,
almost. That's just.
I know, and that was shallow. Good. Right, you're right. It was shallow.
Yeah, and it's the same guy who in the Miami game, in the Marlins game, had a ball hit to him in shallow left field and couldn't throw out. Who's it? Jake Berger at home.
Now, to be fair, that was a pretty good throw. It took a bad kind of short hop, and Cal couldn't get it.
Yeah, but I mean,
the throw beat him. But I mean,
should have beat him by more from where it was hit.
Yeah,
wasn't like he was deep left, but
no, you're right. Yeah, I know.
Maybe I'm being too unfair. Maybe I'm being.
I don't know.
Okay, but just they need.
But
they need to address the outfield.
Yes, and left is a revolving door, right is a revolving door. You got Julio, still waiting for him to hit, which I think he will. But
let's
hope. Keep saying that. I know. But a big one today with Castillo on the mound. He's the ace, right, that needs to stop streaks like this. He was supposed to do it in Cleveland and win that series, and he gives up 5. He needs to step up and kind of be the guy that stops streaks, right, and gets these guys going. And do we have time for a quick story on his nickname?
We've got all the time.
We got time.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so La Piedra, right, The Rock.
Yeah.
When he was in his still not being, how do I say this? Not yet born, in his mother's stomach, in the DR. Okay. His mother was, in I think she might have been in labor, very close, and she did not.
This is a great story, by the way.
I'm going to make this up. I'm going to make up half of this. So she's feeling bad, a lot of pain, right? So what do? Well, her mother, Louis' grandmother, old school from the DR, they believe that putting rocks on a person's forehead will help with the pain, help alleviate pain. So while she was with Louise, they put rocks on her forehead, felt better, had Louise. Louise comes out. Everybody knows the story. So they called him The Rock.
There we
La
go.
Piedra. There it is. Nothing to do with baseball. Nothing about consistency.
Now let me ask you why you brought that up. Am I going to flip on my TV tonight, and am I going to get a pregame story on how he got the nickname The Rock?
No, we had that last year on our pregame. He told it much better than I did. A lot longer, too. I really tried to.
How about we recycle that one more time and play it before today's game?
Hey, before we get to Castillo on the mound and his numbers and what he needs to do against Tampa, let me tell you how he got the nickname.
Yeah. Just play it one more time for him.
I like that.
All right. Well,
so I think it's somewhat interesting because you would assume it was just something to do with baseball. Rock steady. No.
Don't worry about it, listeners. I'll edit this part out of the podcast.
Tell Brad that it's interesting and we appreciate his stories.
Hold on. I got to record the outro. 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Brad.
Good story.
Good.
Story. You cut the whole story out, so don't even mention it. You're right. Thanks, Brad. Okay, fine. If you don't want kind of insights to the guys, and okay, fine.
No, I love it. I love all of it.
You don't. You hate it.
I do. Hey, let's. I know they'll probably add one, but so far so good with Garver playing catcher. Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, God, I think he looks okay.
No, I didn't know where you're going. Like, yes, in terms of him not, being hurt or, he hit a home run last night, which was good. He's not hurt. He's playing.
I'm just saying he looks, I know he's caught in the past. I'm just saying that since they've made him the, quote, backup catcher, he's been good.
And he threw out a couple of runners.
Yeah.
He has. He's looked fine. Yeah. Can he do it the whole year? We shall see. And poor Cal. I mean, even on games he doesn't play, he's in there by the 7th. He's either pinch hitting or, replacing Garver or finishing out a game. It's like he doesn't get a day off, and he homered last night, which is great. But
so you think they got to address that?
I think eventually they're going to have to. I just don't know if you can count on Mitch catching twice a week and DHing and giving Cal some rest. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's young, and I don't know. They just ride him as long as they can. They got some off days coming up, the All-Star break. Hopefully,
It's amazing. I got someone that yesterday, a couple days ago, emailed me something about how, hey, there's just no way we can trade Harry Ford because he was upset about Cal Raleigh. He's like, look at his batting average. He can't hit the ball and all that. I'm like, hey, man, he's like among catchers in baseball. He's 8th in OPS. He's 8th in slugging. He's 2nd in home runs. He's 3rd in RBIs. Meanwhile, okay, I don't care about the batting average. Defensively, he is, according to Fangraphs, basically the best defensive catcher in baseball. It's him and Jonah Heim.
And throwing out the most runners.
Yeah, so, I mean, what do you want? I mean, it's – Jim Duquette thinks he's going to get a deal in the neighborhood of Will Smith. At least that's what Boris –
What was that,
140?
Okay.
Over 10 years, though.
Right.
But he thinks
I'd sign him now. I'm with you. I would go to him every day. Be like, can you sign something now? You want to sign something now?
Well, did you see the photo? You're not so much on social media, are you?
Did you see the photo? Not really, but I did. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Dipoto was sitting with Boris and Modesto. Yeah. Please say they were talking about an extension. Can you ask Jerry?
Absolutely. And I wonder how many players Boris had on that field. Does he have a lot of those young,
probably
like Emerson and Young?
Probably has all of them. Jesus. Doesn't he have everybody in baseball?
Montez too. I think everybody in baseball. Yeah, everybody who's a free agent he has. It's unbelievable. But yeah, that would be good. I'd ask him every day.
You think? Right, I said this yesterday. Do you think it's time? Do you think it's JP Crawford? Do they got to move him out? Keep him in the leadoff spot? You think they should move him up? He was on base 3 times yesterday, so
which was good. But he also is hovering right around 200 and tough road trip for him. Yeah. If you had, I guess maybe a better option, maybe, but I still like his at bats.
Okay.
I know it's hard to say that. Would Julio be better leading off? I mean, maybe
Rojas. Put Rojas back.
Rojas. Yeah, for sure. But he only plays platoon player. Everybody's platoon.
Everybody's platoon, just like you.
Exactly.
All right, you are a platoon broadcaster. Thank you, Brad. Brad Adam, episode 180, all brought to you by John Howie Steak. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it. More stories coming your way.